Charlie Barnhart, Wewoka High School. What is the Wewokas?
Tigers.
Tigers. Wewoka Tigers. Okay, so we're doing this for the Gear Up Oklahoma. Charlie's an alumni graduate of 2018.
Yeah.
Wewoka Tigers. She now plays for the Seminole State College softball program. And the Gear Up program has asked us to do a little interview with her so that we can get some information out there to the Wewoka High School student body. What do you know now that you wished you knew as a freshman at Wewoka?
I'd have to say that I wish I would have taken weight room more seriously. I could have been a lot stronger and performed better in my sport if I had not goofed around and if I had focused on my grades and not been an airhead. If I'd have known that grades were as important as they actually are, because I just kind of did my own thing. But yeah, I wish I would have paid more attention to my grades and taken weight room more seriously too.
How did you balance academics and sports in high school?
Really, it's just about time management. If you know that you have homework, you just need to know that after practice that's what you're going to go do instead of hanging out with your friends, or which is what.
Is that what you did a lot of?
Yeah, I did that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You know, some of your teachers are probably watching this going, yeah, we know.
I'm sure they will be. Yeah. So.
Hey, but what this is all about is being honest with yourself and then helping others, right?
Yep. So don't do that.
Okay, so what advice would you give to your fellow Wewokians, Tigers, about pursuing secondary education from your hometown?
Just start thinking now, because I was just kind of in my own world in high school, and I got here and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I want to do with my life? But
and you're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So I'm still taking general classes right now, just like seeing what I like, taking a bunch of different
general liberal arts study.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure that out. So if you can start thinking now and get ahead, that'd be great.
How do you like college life?
I like it. It's a lot better than high school.
Is it a lot more demanding?
But
Do you got to be more of a time manager?
yes, playing sports and balancing sports and college is definitely difficult, because sports is like a job. You wake up 5 a.m., work out, go to classes, and then right after class you eat lunch and come to practice for a few hours, and you have to definitely use time management here. That's what I've learned, and I wish I would have done that in high school. So
Is it rewarding?
yeah, it definitely is. There's a lot of memories that come along with it, and I'm glad that I did it. It's fun.
Any other advice?
I don't think so.
Go Trojans?
Yep, go Trojans.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Delaney Manning, Dale graduate of 2019, Prague student for a few years, Gear Up of Oklahoma. Miss Cooper, that's one of the schools that she has is Prague, and she's asked us to talk to some of the former high schoolers that are now at Seminole State College about some experiences. So today we're bringing you Delaney Manning. Okay, so what do you know now that you wish that you knew as a freshman in high school?
Okay, I know that as a freshman I was all over the place. I never focused on grades that much. I really didn't care. I was just worried about hanging out with friends, and it really I struggled because my GPA isn't as high as I wanted it to be. But now I know that if I'd have just focused up a little bit more, I could have had a better GPA and
Not struggle.
I didn't struggle as much my freshman year, but once sophomore, junior, senior year came, I struggled a little bit. But
yeah. So how did you balance academics and sports in high school?
I was always trying to strive to do my homework on the bus on the way to games, because it just becomes a hassle and you tend to procrastinate after and you don't do it, and grades are more important than sports, and so I tried to always like get my homework done before, and right after practice I would go home and get that finished done first before anything. But I'm not saying I was perfect, like I always did that, because I didn't, but yes, I would definitely tend to do that more if I could.
What advice would you give to the kids that know you, that will be able to put a face to this video at Dale or at Prague? What advice would you give them about preparing for this being your first year of college, you know, being what, 6 weeks into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what advice, if you could go back and talk to yourself 5 years ago today, what advice would you give yourself?
I would give myself advice about being more responsible, because once you're here at college, you don't have your mom and daddies anymore. So taking up for your own actions and being responsible and getting stuff done on time, and like I said, being time manageable, and really just being responsible and taking on, like, I'm here for softball, so it's all about time management and getting my work done, because they don't take late work like they do in high school. So it's difficult, but it's part of growing up.
Part of growing up. Any other advice that you would give to any of the kids that might be watching this, you know, middle schoolers or high schoolers, about preparing for, you know, the future?
Probably just focus on your grades, focus on like trying to make a really good ACT score, because that really helps you in college. Plus, if you want scholarship and money, that really helps. And if you're not a good test taker like I was, focus on getting a really good GPA, like all 4 years. Try to get straight A's, strive for that, because it'll pay off in the end.
Some people just don't take tests very well.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just because if you don't take a test very well doesn't mean that you're not college material.
Right.
I think you only limit yourself. Mm-hmm. You got anything else for us? What's your major? Have you decided on your major?
My major is health science. I want to be a dental hygienist. And that's one thing I could say, like, advice is start knowing about your freshman year, kind of thinking and opening up your mind a lot about what you want to be, what you want to go into, because it helps a lot now that I'm here and I know what I want to do, and it's something I've always wanted to do since like 7th grade. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Okay, we're here at Seminole State College with Kaya Wright from Prague, and this is for the Gear Up program. So we're going to go through a couple of questions. So what do you know now that you wish you knew your freshman year at Prague?
To take care of my body better and to stay on top of my grades.
How did you balance academics and sports in high school?
I always made sure to do my work like in class if I could, so I wouldn't have to worry about it after a game.
What advice would you give what advice about pursuing post-secondary education would you give to high school students from Prague?
To make time to do your work, because it's way easier to fall behind in college than it was in high school.
So, if today's Kaya could go back to your freshman year, what would you tell freshman Kaya?
To hit the gym, because I was tiny in my freshman year.
And about school?
To study harder.
Study harder? Mm-hmm. How was the planning for your college? How did you go about that in high school?
I stayed on top of my college because I took concurrent classes, so I just made sure to get all of that organized before I came to college.
Right. So how do you like college?
It's really fun. I made a lot of friends.
Made a lot of friends? Mm-hmm. Learning some stuff. What's your major?
Health sciences. I'm planning on being a nurse.
A nurse? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we thank you for your time.
Thank you. Go Bells.
Okay, we're here at Seminole State College with Ozzie Bloomer, 2019 graduate of Prague. Here at Seminole State College, baseball player with the Trojans. Miss Cooper and the Oklahoma Gear Up have asked us to do an interview with him. So we'll start off with, what do you know now that you wish you knew your freshman year in high school?
I wish I knew how much hard work it took and how much studying and just going out of your way you have to do. And I wish I would have done that more in high school just to prepare, even if I didn't need it.
How do you balance academics and sports in high school?
In high school, I would always find somebody to do it with, and that made it so much easier. I would always have friends in my classes being in a small high school, so that made everything easier.
Okay, so what advice about pursuing post-secondary education would you give to high school students from your hometown?
I would say start studying now, and it's doable no matter what anybody's told you. If you put your mind to it and hard work in it, you can do it.
What's your major going to be?
I'm going to major in health sciences to be a physical therapist or a physical therapist assistant. I haven't decided yet.
So here at Seminole, what's your degree going to be in?
Just getting my health sciences right now and applying for the PTA program to start out.
How do you like college life?
College is pretty good. There's some tough parts, but that's everywhere.
What
I
would-
like being here at Seminole State because it's smaller and you can focus more on one thing.
What would you say about time management?
Time management is really important. You have to put time away for everything. There's time for fun, but then there's also time to study, to work toward athletics, academics, and everything.
If you could go back in time and talk to Isaac 5 years ago, what would you tell Isaac?
Work harder, and maybe I'd be somewhere else, but that's not the point now. If I work harder back then I'd just be more successful at everything, whether that's being in the weight room more or in the books more, whatever.
Anything else you'd like to add? Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Okay, today we are at the golf course with Cole Ward, Seminole State Trojan, graduate of Wewoka High School 2019.
Yes, sir.
So you're a freshman?
Yes, sir.
So Gear Up of Oklahoma has asked me to visit with some student athletes, and we got a couple questions here. What do you know now that you wish you knew your freshman year in high school?
What it took at the college level. I mean, I had an idea, but my work ethic in high school was okay, but in college it has to be a lot stronger. And I'd say academically, studying and stuff like that, I wish I would have studied more in high school to get ready for college, so just little things like that.
How did you balance academics and sports in high school?
My time management skills, we played a lot of golf in high school. We had a lot of tournaments and we had to practice a lot before it got dark and stuff, so we had to go home and eat and shower and do our homework and stuff. So I'd say I had good time management skills, really.
And then what advice about pursuing post-secondary education would you give to high school students from Wewoka?
Have a plan, because you just can't expect to come in and know it all. You got to be ready. Have a plan how you're going to pay for college, how you're going to get your work done, especially if you're playing a sport. So start working on the stuff now, like doing your homework, getting it done in time, because in high school the teachers are a lot more forgiving. They'll accept late work and stuff, but in college it's not the case. So I'd say just start practicing it now.
Okay, so we're going to go back in time to your freshman year in high school. What advice would you give yourself today?
I just say work harder, try harder in school and stuff like that. Learn more about college and what it's like, and just start applying it, because you'll want it. You'll want them study habits in college and stuff like that. So I'd say just trying harder, I guess.
So how do you like college life?
It's really fun. You have your best friends with you all the time, and it's just like, you get to study with them, do a lot of things with them. You don't have to ask your parents to go out and do stuff. You're pretty much an adult on your own now. Just like staying the night with your best friend for a whole entire school year.
What's your major?
Biblical studies.
Biblical studies. Any other advice that you would give to Tigers?
Just keep grinding.
Keep grinding. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're here with Evan Stafford, 2019 graduate, Wewoka High School, Go Tigers. And this is for the Oklahoma Gear Up. They've asked us to ask a few student athletes some questions, and so we'll get started. What do you know now that you wish you knew your freshman year in high school?
I'd say definitely what hard work was, because I always had someone pushing me, but I never really knew how to work hard by myself. I never knew the responsibility of hard work and what it took to really work hard. Honestly, I didn't really ever push myself until I got to my senior year, and it really hurt everything that I did, sports-wise and academic-wise.
So would you say you didn't have a plan?
Yeah, I definitely didn't have a plan until I got to my senior year. That's when I started going on college visits and looking at colleges and just thinking about college. Honestly, I didn't really want to think about it because I didn't want to grow up. So I definitely make a plan early and set it in stone.
So how did you balance academics and sports in high school?
I made sure that academics came first. I made sure that I had a 4.0, and I made sure that whenever I did something, I put my best effort into it. But I always needed that little drive to get it done, because I mean, still to this day, it takes responsibility and setting your head right to get stuff done. And
What about time management?
yeah, time management is probably one of the biggest skills that you'll have to develop over the years. If you're a freshman, then best start young, because it's not easy to just get it done in a year. It's been a year process, and I'm still working on time management. It's definitely a big part.
Because at the college level, those professors hold you accountable.
Yeah, definitely.
What advice about pursuing post-secondary education would you give to high school students from Wewoka?
The plan. Definitely have a plan to start looking early. Get whether it's your favorite college and to check it out, or if it's just a small college that's nearby, check it out. Try to get on a college visit, college tour. Look up everything you can. See the academics. Look at the sports if you want to play a sport. And I definitely start trying to get into a little bit more advanced classes to get ready for college, especially if you're from Wewoka. You definitely want to try to get in as many advanced classes as you can, or go concurrent.
Go concurrent?
Because that's going to be your best bet on succeeding in college. You'll want to do that because it helps you with your responsibility, time management, and it helps you to work a little bit harder to define hard work in school.
What's your major?
My major is biblical studies.
Biblical studies.
Yeah.
How do you like college life?
It's awesome. It's really awesome. It's a step above what I thought it was going to be. It's just like Cole said. It's like living with your best friends. You can go over anytime. You ain't got to ask your parents to go anywhere. I mean, you're an adult basically, so you can just go out and do what you want. But it also brings a lot of pressure onto you to get work done, responsibility, and it really. You have to have a drive to do it, because
There's probably a lot of people that's invested a lot of time in you and want to see you succeed.
yeah,
You'd
there's
hate-
definitely, my parents have definitely helped me. They're the reason I'm here. If it wasn't for them pushing me every single time that I had something to do, then I probably wouldn't be here.
Any other advice you'd give?
Start young. Start freshman year. If you're a sophomore, start sophomore year. But if it's a little bit later, that's okay, because I started late too. Just make sure that you put your head in there and get after it. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Just get it done.
Set your goals early and
Yep.
work towards them.
Definitely. But be open to change, because you'll change as you get older, and your thoughts will change about what you want. So be open to change, but make sure you set your goals and get them done. Definitely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Today we are here at Seminole State College with Damon Cravens, who is a former Gear Up Oklahoma member, went through the program, and all of our other interviews we've interviewed with current student athletes. Damon is actually a faculty member here. So where did you go to high school at, Damon?
I went to Seminole High School, and then after I graduated high school, I went to Seminole State College, got my associate's degree, and then shortly after that, I went to the University of Oklahoma, where I graduated in 2018, where I received my bachelor's degree in human relations.
Okay, so now that you're kind of through the education process, how did the Gear Up program help you when you were in middle school, junior high, or high school?
Gear Up, we took a lot of trips that I can remember being in Gear Up. That was a long time ago. So we did a lot of trips, a lot of campus visits. So those campus visits got me familiar with how college institutions work. And then after I graduated high school, Gear Up still supported me, and then they let me know about student support services while I was at the University of Oklahoma that helped me propel my education more. It got me out of my comfort zone in order for me to understand that my purpose in life was in higher education.
So the Gear Up program that you were associated with, was it fun?
Yeah, it was really, really fun. I remember getting the backpacks, which the students get now. And then I remember going on all the nice trips, as I had mentioned before. And then I remember just them coming in, cutting class time, being able to tell us about college, because I've gotten some college experience from my parents, but not very much so because they was first-generation students.
Do you think that the Gear Up program helped you give you some expectations that you're going to encounter in the future, to where you wouldn't be, I'm not scared, but cautious, not knowing if you could actually do it? I mean, did they give you some confidence?
Yeah, they gave me an extreme amount of confidence, especially after I graduated. They welcomed me back with open arms to work with them over the summer. So I did some Gear Up programs with the summer. I really, really enjoyed it, working with the children there and get to interact with them and hearing their stories. And then also I got to go to a trip with them in San Francisco where I was a chaperone. It was a really, really life-changing, and then I don't regret any of it. I wish that I could continue doing it if I could possibly do so more.
On the other interviews that we did, I kind of asked the students today to go back in time their freshman year and give them advice. Is there anything you'd do different?
I would be a lot more involved than I was. Then I would take it a lot more serious than I did, because back then I was more about athletics as far as not being a part of something like that. But being a part of the Gear Up program is much bigger than anything that I've personally been a part of, whether that's a sport or whatever. But I would tell myself to be involved in it and to take as much out of the program as possible, and to utilize every opportunity that they give you, as far as when they give you information on FAFSA, Oklahoma Promise, and when you go to these colleges, really, really pay attention to the colleges on the trips.
What sport did you play?
I played basketball, and I also ran track.
Basketball and track. So how was to go back to some of the other students that we asked questions, how did you balance academics and sports in high school?
My parents was very, very strict on me. Education came first in our family. So if you did not make the grades, you were not playing. So my parents stayed on top of me for my grades. And then also a very good support system in the community as well. They was always on top of me to make sure that I thrived on the field or on the court or in the track or in the classroom as well.
So go back in time and think about what, a lot of the high school organizations, people hear the name and then they don't search it out or investigate it or anything. What enticed you to take that step to find out what Gear Up Oklahoma was that actually motivated you to be a part of that?
So when I was in Gear Up, Julie Hicks, which is the director of the Gear Up program now, she was our Gear Up advisor. She would come to the school, talk to us about Gear Up, drop off the bags and papers for us and give us t-shirts. So that is how I got to know and get familiar with the Gear Up program. So
you kind of developed a relationship with your coordinator, your class coordinator, I guess, and that's what kind of, I'm not going to say push you overboard, but enticed you to maybe give it another 2 or 3 more minutes to figure out what it's about?
Yes, and then once I bought into that system, when I came here, she was also still the Gear Up director. Well, she got hired as the position for the Gear Up director, and then she took me underneath her wing, and she's like a really good mentor to me. I consider her one of my best friends. and then she really helped me to see my vision as far as doing something in the academic field.
So what would you say, so this video is going to go to different schools and talk about Gear Up Oklahoma. What advice would you give the kids at any of the schools really about Gear Up Oklahoma?
The Gear Up is a program that will get you out of your comfort zone. It will make you challenge and think about stuff that you never necessarily thought of. And then they're also going to give you experiences such as going to the college tours and going to the different cultural events that they have, which was really, really good. That I wish I would have took that more serious as well. And then just all in general, the whole college atmosphere, especially if you're a first generation student, like how I was, you're not going to necessarily know about what college necessarily looks like, how FAFSA is completed, or how to be time orientated.
So on a scale 1 to 10, for all of your past history with education and all that, how important would you rate Gear Up Oklahoma for you?
9.5, very, very important. I feel like that every school, well, all schools around here do have it, but children should be a lot more active than what they are in it. I feel like they don't take it as serious as they possibly should be because they're not necessarily thinking about their education long term. They're just thinking of the moment right now. So just being more involved into the program and buying into it.
Anything else you'd add, advice, encouragement, or anything that you would give to anybody that might be watching this?
To just be true to yourself and then set your goals early and to know what you're not going to necessarily have an idea of what you want to do, but do something that you're passionate about because it's not all necessarily about the money. For me, the reason why I came back to Seminole State was because I wanted to give kids in the community to show them that you can go off and graduate and still come back and give time into your community.
Okay, well, we thank you for your time.